Lieberman is on the line from our bureau in Jerusalem. What's happening?
Well, we're getting some of the latest updates, and protests that were peaceful a few hours ago when they started have since become violent. The latest update from police, 20 police officers injured, one protester arrested, and we've seen some images of what's happening in Rabin Square, which is the central square of Tel Aviv. We're seeing cars damaged, cars and windows destroyed, broken out. We're seeing what appears to be the use of gas to try to disperse the crowd. And again, we're seeing what was a peaceful protest turning violent, turning angry. This all started around 3 o'clock. There was a protest here in Tel Aviv about race relations in Israel after that video went viral. That video showed one police officer or two police officers apparently beating a uniformed Ethiopian Israeli soldier. That went viral, but it's not just about that video. It's about what the Ethiopians see as sort of simmering tension in the community, simmering anger about what they call their mistreatment at the hands of police and authorities. But that video sparked these protests. There was one on Thursday night in Jerusalem. This was the big one, though, Sunday in Tel Aviv. At 3 o'clock, right around 3:30, they gathered in central Tel Aviv and blocked off some of the main streets. For hours, it remained peaceful, both sides showing restraint. Police were trying not to enforce and didn't for a long time. And even the protesters were holding each other back from confronting the police officers. That has obviously, from what we're seeing in Tel Aviv, deteriorated very rapidly over the course of the evening here in Tel Aviv. It's right around 10 o'clock at night. So the protests have been going on for hours, and now we're seeing what's coming out of Tel Aviv. We're seeing destroyed cars, injured police officers, the use of what appears to be tear gas. We'll have to check with police on that, and arrests. We'll see where this goes, but right now we've seen that deterioration from what was a peaceful protest to what's happening now in central Tel Aviv.
Oren, I just want to remind viewers who are tuning in that what we're looking at are not pictures from Baltimore in the United States or from one of the major cities of Western Europe where we have seen clashes between minority young people and police. This is going on in Israel, and race issues, especially race issues within the Jewish community, are really not familiar to most people around the world. How far does this go back, and how profound is the problem?
So you're absolutely right there, and even many here have drawn the comparison between Israel and what's happening now in Tel Aviv and what's happened over the last few weeks in Baltimore. Race relations in Israel, especially between sort of the Jews that were here and the Ethiopian Jews, date back to the mid-'80s and the early '90s. That's when there were two massive airlifts to bring Ethiopian Jews to Israel. Ethiopians now number approximately 125,000 Jews of Israel, or members of Israel. They're Jewish, there's no doubt about that, but they've always felt like they've been treated as second-class citizens because they're black, because they came from Ethiopia. And that has been simmering. There have been tensions throughout the years, and this appears to have hit a boiling point. This is now what was a fairly quiet issue, what was sort of tension, has spilled over. Again, it started as a peaceful protest, and organizers wanted to keep it that way. At some point in this evening, it stopped being a peaceful protest, and that's where we're seeing the damage. That's where we're seeing some of the violence that has come out, especially in the last hour or